So my tripod broke, and I don't have a tripod yet, so I have... So my tripod broke, so I have the camera on a stack of Stephen King books. What's up, Fin fans? So, the OTAs and mandatory minicamp are over. That means training camp is going to start soon. That means another lull in football for yours dearest and all of us football fans. So, Omar Kelly came out with a list of best and worst from Miami Dolphins offseason programs. So, I'm going to see what he picked. I'm assuming he has different categories for different people, different places, yada yada. So I'm going to look at what he chose, look at who he chose, and break it down for you. So, in the wise words of this man right here, you're killing me, Smalls. Let's get started. So first he has top offensive performer. And he has quarterback Ryan Tannehill. My last video I put out Saturday, I had a very mixed bag of people in the comment section. Some people telling me I'm an idiot, I don't know what I'm talking about, and some other people telling me, I agree with you. Let's see what Omar Kelly says. He's rolled back from a left knee injury that cost him 20 games. Tannehill's offseason work proved he has a good command of Coach Adam Gase's offense. He's developing chemistry with his weapons. His athleticism is on par with what we saw from him his rookie season, which means that Miami can continue using his athleticism to move in the pocket, play action plays. The biggest improvement Tannehill has shown is what his movement in the pocket, sliding laterally and vertically to avoid pressure. So, I agree with him. Obviously, he's seen more than I have, but everything I'm hearing from OTAs and mandatory minicamp is Tannehill is progressing, and his pocket movement and his pocket awareness is getting better. And in my video Saturday, I said that that's why I think Tannehill is a good quarterback. A lot of the people that disagreed with me and called me an idiot and all that other stuff is because they were focusing on Tannehill in the Philman and Dan Carpenter era, and not focusing on Tannehill in the Adam Gase era, where he is actually seriously progressing and showing a great growth in quarterback skills. Do I think he's a elite quarterback, and can we put the team on his shoulders and take us to the Super Bowl? No. Go watch my video Saturday. I explained that. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback, and I do think he is showing the most promise on the offense. Top defensive performer. So, you already see it. It's over here. You already see it. It's Rashad Jones. A lot of people would probably think he would choose Minkah Fitzpatrick, being that he has the most interceptions on the defense, but no, he chose Rashad Jones. Let's find out why Omar Kelly chose Rashad Jones. Jones, who has been a stabilizing presence on the Miami's defense for 6 of his 8 seasons with the team, continues to be a headhunting playmaker that can change the outcome of the game. Dolphins worked on having him play deep and to strengthen a weak area in his game. While he's being best utilized close to the line of scrimmage, Miami needs Jones to become a versatile if his pairing with TJ McDonald is going to work. I agree. As the top defensive performer, I haven't, from what again, these guys watch the OTAs and they watch the minicamp. I essentially read what they tell me. So when it's open to the media, I am reading play-by-play what they're telling me, and then I'm telling you guys. So what they're telling me, it seems like Robert Quinn has been super disruptive and super good, I guess you could say. But if he's telling me Rashad Jones is playing great in the offseason and in mini camps, then I'll take his word for it. But I would have probably picked Robert Quinn or Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's got 6 interceptions, but that is against Bryce Petty and David Fales and Brock Osweiler. I don't think Minkah's played much in the secondary role, or I got to pick it in the secondary role. Best newcomer. We'll just talk about this dude, Robert Quinn. Let's see what Omar Kelly says. That's his name now. Dolphins traded a 2018 4th-round pick to acquire the 2-time Pro Bowler, who is returning to a 4-3 scheme that will allow him to put his hand in the dirt and attack the quarterbacks. Quinn, elusiveness against Laremy Tunsil proves that he remains athletic enough to be elite. However, the Dolphins have to be concerned about a lingering back issue, which at times has slowed the 28-year-old down. Does that end part worry me? No, it doesn't worry me, and I think the reason why the Dolphins gave up a 4th for him, and the reason why the Dolphins got him, is because they have Deion Branch, they have William Hayes, they have Cameron Wake, they have Charles Harris. You know, they have these defensive ends that Cameron Wake's elite, but the other guys are good. So if Robert Quinn does have like a back spasm or something, he misses a game, will it suck? Of course. But will it cost us a game and will we be hindered by it? No, because we have that depth at the defensive end position. But is he the best newcomer? Yes. I think when it comes to free agency, when it came to signing and everything, I think he is the best that I'm hearing so far from OTAs and minicamp. Now we got most impactful rookie, and there's our boy, safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. Let's see what Omar has to say. According to his teammates, Fitzpatrick, the Dolphins' 2018 first overall pick, finished the offseason with the most practice interceptions. That means he has been giving Brock Osweiler, David Fales issues. The hope is that the former Alabama standout will develop fast enough to make it difficult for Miami coaches to keep him off the base defense. I agree, but the thing that is worrying me is that I'm hearing TJ McDonald is having a great offseason, and if that's the case, yeah, you could do a 3 safety set, but that you won't be running that a lot. Then you can say, okay, well then take him and throw him at the nickel position, but then where are you going to put Bobby McCain? You just signed him to a contract extension. So this is a good problem to have. That means we have a ton of good secondary players. It sucks though because we want to see this dude play. But yes, he is the most impactful rookie, I would say, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Most improved player. He picks wide receiver Jakeem Grant. What does he say about Grant? Grant's hands were unreliable his rookie season. The former Texas Tech standout dropped 4 too many passes and punts to be trusted. His hands improved in his second season, and it appears his understanding of Miami's offense has gotten him to the next level as a player. Grant was so impactful during the spring that Gase was talking about having him work with Ryan Tannehill during training camp. The biggest concern about Grant is whether or not he'll show up when pads come on. I agree with this wholeheartedly. He's the most improved. He played great last year, especially that Patriots game, and I'm hearing great things about him in OTAs and minicamp. But again, they're not wearing pads. They're not getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a little bit different when he's got those pads on and his speed is a little bit hindered. But he has improved dramatically from what I'm hearing. Don't sleep on category. He picks safety TJ McDonald. Again, secondary is really good. McDonald played so well last training camp that the Dolphins signed him to a 4-year contract extension that will pay him $1.5 million this season. So far, McDonald has shown he might be the team's biggest bargain because his practice has proven he's still a solid player. However, McDonald and Rashad Jones need to find a way to make the chemistry work, considering both are viewed as physical in the box safeties, and that is the problem we have. Neither one of them are cover safeties. They are thumpers and will knock your head off. But the thing that I am promised with is the fact that they didn't play for 8 games last year because TJ McDonald was suspended for the first 8 games. So now that they have the off season together, they're going to have training camp together, and then they'll start off together. I think it'll be a great tandem with these 2 hard-hitting safeties. Locking down the starting spot, he picked AJ Derby. Now I know a lot of you are like, get the fuck out of here. We drafted Mike Gesicki in the second round. He's got to start, blah blah blah. Let's see what Omar Kelly had to say about it. It's not a done deal yet, but Derby, a former college quarterback who spent the first 2 seasons with the New England Patriots and Denver Broncos, has a strong grasp on Miami's offense. His ability to open down the field means that he might be able to hold off rookie Mike Gesicki for the starting role as Miami's tight end. Derby, who the Dolphins claimed off of the waiver wire last season, has started 4 games during his brief NFL career. I haven't heard much from any of the tight ends in OTAs and minicamp, so for me to agree or disagree with this, it wouldn't make any sense. But I have heard AJ Derby catching a lot of touchdowns and catching a lot of passes. I didn't start hearing Mike Gesicki catch passes towards the end of OTAs. One is a rookie and one has been in the league for 2 seasons. Most concerned unit, he picks the linebackers, and I don't disagree. For me, it's linebackers, defensive tackles. I just still don't know what the defensive tackles will do. But let's see what he says. Kiko Alonso unfairly shouldered all the blame for his unit's struggle last year. The Dolphins haven't exactly done much to ensure the unit improved in 2018. The only player added were Terrence Graven, career journeyman, and 2 rookies, Jerome Baker and Quentin Pauling, who had quiet off-season practices. The hope is that Raekwon McMillan returns from ACL injury and Stephon Anthony and Chase Allen become comfortable in the defense will help the unit improve its productivity. That's why why the linebacker core is my most concern, because you are hoping and praying for essentially a rookie who's coming off an ACL injury, and Stephon Anthony, a first round pick who hasn't done crap, to come in and instantly be productive and help out Kiko Alonso, who a lot of you guys think sucks, even though the year before he played great and deserved the contract extension. We will see. We will see when training camp comes and the pads are on, and we'll see in preseason. But right now, yeah, linebacker is most concerning. Improved offensive line. I agree. The addition of Josh Sitton and the emergence of Jesse Davis as the starting right guard have potentially fortified a position that has been weakened for decades. New center Daniel Kilgore is responsible for pulling it all together. The Dolphins will need chemistry from Laramie Tunsil and Juwan James, two former first-round picks who are expected to serve as the starting tackles. Tunsil and James each have talent, but their development has stalled at times. They were getting their asses whipped in OTAs and minicamp from pretty much every defensive end we threw at them. That's not good, but the line has been playing better. So it is the most improved because it was just bad last year. Looking for leadership from linebacker Raekwon McMillan. So essentially, let's see what he says. Plenty is being put on McMillan's shoulders because of his role as Miami's new starting inside linebacker. While rehabbing his season-ending knee injury, McMillan was able to watch and learn, and the hope is that his redshirt season will speed up his development because he'll need to diagnose plays before the ball is snapped. If McMillan can get the job done, or he suffers another season-ending injury, the Dolphins would be in trouble last year. So essentially they have really no backup to Raekwon McMillan. So he needs to stay healthy and show that him sitting out last year because of the knee injury was a positive, I guess you can say, because he learned the defense needs improvement. He picks defensive tackle Davon Godchaux. Godchaux promising rookie season, which featured him contributing 40 tackles and forcing one fumble in the 15 games he played, indicated that he was ready to become an every down starter, but the former LSU standout has struggled to distance himself from Jordan Phillips and Akeem Spence, two players who at best are viewed as borderline NFL starters. More is expected of Godchaux. Yeah, I agree. He needs to, especially with now that we don't have Ndamukong Suh, every defensive tackle needs to step up. Needs improvement, I would have said the whole defensive tackle unit, because I don't care who does it. Best training camp battle to watch: Tankersley versus Tony Lippett. The battle will likely come down to which style of cornerback coaches prefer. Cordero Tankersley, who started 11 games as a rookie, provided tighter coverage than Tony Lippett, who is coming off from a torn Achilles tendon that sidelined him for the 2017 season. But Lippett has a knack for creating turnovers, 4 in 2016, and is Miami's best corner when it comes to film study. So you have Tankersley, who is great in coverage, but then you have Lippett, who is just a turnover machine. So yeah, this is who's going to have that border cornerback position opposite Xavier Howard and Bobby McCain. This is a fun battle to watch. So this whole training camp, we will be paying close attention to who has more picks and who is more disruptive. So study time. I don't know what he means by study time, but he chooses Mike Gesicki. Let's see what he says about it. Gesicki showcased his freakish athleticism, which motivated the Dolphins to draft him in the second round. The game will become more challenging for Penn State standout when the pads come on. That's when Gesicki must prove he's not a one-dimensional player and show that he can serve as a respectable blocker. The more he grasps the playbook, the more he'll be on the field. So I'm assuming he means that Gesicki has to put his nose in the book and learn that shit. Last man on the 53, he picks Durham Smythe. Let's see what he says about Durham. Durham, a rookie the Dolphins drafted in the 4th round this year, is one of 6 tight ends competing for 3 or 4 spot on the 53-man season roster. Former Notre Dame standouts, limited speed might be an issue in the NFL. He'll need to beat out Marquise Gray, who's beginning his 3rd season with the Dolphins, to guarantee himself a spot on the roster unless the Dolphins decide to keep 4 tight ends. That would suck because we used a 4th on him, which they could have used that 4th on a defensive tackle. preferably one of the standout defensive tackles that were still on the board in the 4th round. If Durham Smythe doesn't make the team, I'm going to be pissed. And finally, we have player on the bubble, and of course, it's wide receiver Leonte Carroo. Omar Kelly says, Carroo, a receiver the Dolphins traded up to acquire in the 3rd round of the 2016 draft, hasn't carved out a role for himself in the first 2 seasons. His practices this offseason were cut short by a knee injury he had surgically repaired. Carroo expected to be healthy enough to participate in training camp, and he'll need to dominate because there are 5 receivers ahead of him, and another 4, Sean Scott, Drew Morgan, Malcolm Lewis, and Isaiah Ford, fighting for their NFL futures. Carroo is not making the team because Isaiah Ford is playing decent. He's coming back from an injury, but Malcolm Lewis is playing really well. So even if it's between like Malcolm Lewis and Carroo, Carroo's not making the team. And now it's time for the thing you guys love the most. I hope so. Comment of the day, or question of the day, or my butt is on fire. This one comes from Sean Jacobson. He asked me, do the Dolphins have a top 5 secondary, safeties and corners only? Which teams are ranked above them, in my opinion? Do the Dolphins have a top 5 secondary? They have a top 10 secondary, I personally think. It's tough because you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a ridiculously good secondary. The Rams just got better. You have the Chargers, who have a really decent secondary. You have the Minnesota Vikings, who have a good secondary. The Eagles have a good secondary. Top 5, I'm hoping, hey, if the Dolphins can have a top 5 secondary, then I'll be super pumped. 10, yeah, I think they have a top 10 secondary, just from what I'm seeing with Xavier Howard, with Tony Lippett coming back, with us having the addition of Mika Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think this secondary is one of the top in the league. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below, ask me a question for comment of the day, or just comment below, and maybe I'll pick you your comment for comment of the day. Let me know what you think about the video, about all the good and the bad from the OTAs and the mini camp so far. Let me know if you guys are excited for training camp, if you guys are excited for the preseason. It should be here in about a month and a half, if that. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's the same freaking thing. It's DouglieDoWrong. I tweet out a bunch of things. I post a bunch of things on Instagram. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to The Bit Boys, my 2nd channel. I sent out the wristbands to Seven and Sean. Comment below if you got them. Let us know what you think of them. So go over there, subscribe if you like what you see, comment that you subscribe, and then hit me up on Instagram, or hit the Bit Boys up on Instagram, and we will get your information and we'll send you out a friggin' free wristband. And if you think free wristbands are stupid, then okay, what else do you want that's free? Hit the like button if you like this video. It's a very quiet time in the NFL, so I'm going to be doing videos like this where I'm going to be talking about the team in a whole, or I'm going to be talking about past teams, or I'm going to be talking about other things until training camp starts. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Like I always tell you, I'm going to be doing other things on here besides Dolphins, but there will be a ton of Dolphin stuff on here because I love me some Dolphins. And other than that, hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and fins up. So I was debating making this video for a very long time. Why? Because there's 2 different groups of Dolphin fans. There's the Dolphin fans that love Ryan Tannehill and think that he's going to be great, and there's the group of Dolphin fans that hate Ryan Tannehill and think he sucks. And